Where August 16th, we have to turn our nomination papers in. And we just had taken a poll. And half the people, this is the August before the election in November, which was November 4th. Half the people in town, here I am thinking, my mother's a Lancer, my father's been, he's a Mazzarella, I've been a cop all my life, my brother's an attorney, I think everybody in town knows me. Half the people in town didn't even know who I was. And we sat in the room, and I'll say the same thing, that our person that helped us with some polling said to us, if you really want to win, here are the things that you have to do. As it stands today, if the election was held, you'd lose. If you want to stay in, then here are the things that you have to do, or you can just leave and not turn your nomination papers in. I said, I looked to my crew, and we all said, what do you think? We're equal partners. If you don't want to run and you think this is embarrassing, let's get out now. They looked at me and said, let's just do whatever we have to do. And we have a lot of work to do. A lot of work. We've got to bring our friends and relatives. We've got to bug people for sign locations. You've got to ask. Unfortunately, you can't wait for somebody to come up and say, hey, you're part of the Tea Party. You've got to ask them and say, hey, you have any interest? Be nice to them. And then ask them, how about a lawn sign? And then ultimately, are you going to vote for all the right people? Or would you like mine? A little bit of an interpretation, or my opinion on, who are some of the people that maybe you should vote for. That's going to be our part. And more than anything else, regardless of whether it snows that day, or it rains, or you get busy, or your leg hurts, or your knee hurts, we've got to drag ourselves to the polls, no matter what. And you're going to drag everybody you can. And no texting or calling on the phone, but every time you stop somebody, get on your cell phone and call somebody or text them, and remind them to make sure they get to the polls. That's what's going to change. And let me tell you, this thing is, remember when Scott Brown, just a couple of weeks before, people said to me, what do you think? I said, unstoppable. At this point, unstoppable. You're not unstoppable right now. You've got a couple more weeks here. You've got some more work to do. Then you will become unstoppable. You won't notice it because you just, that you first feeling that, hey, we're doing the right thing, feeling will take over. But there's still a lot of work to be left over. The polls have changed in the governor's race. There's a lot more to happen, but this is no time to rest. And again, the greatest thing in the world was they thought you went to sleep for the summer. That's right. And you see, that's what politicians do. They go to sleep for the summer. They don't pay attention. And then just before the next election, they pull up the sheet of everything they told you they were going to do the year before, or 2 years, or 4 years, or 6 years, and they stop looking and saying, oh yeah, remember we said this? Remember we said we weren't going to raise taxes, we're going to put cops in the street, drop real estate property taxes? Yeah, remember we said that? Let's start talking about it again, and then we'll let the election go by, and then we won't do anything for 4 years, and then we'll talk about it again. It worked last time. And I said this the last time I had a governor's race. I said they told everybody what they wanted to hear, and they called it hope. That's what they did. They said, they told you whatever you wanted to hear, and they said, and they called it hope. Hope for Massachusetts, hope for the country. If this is hope, we're in a lot of trouble. So you can't go wrong. Just keep doing what you're doing.